The City University of New York Department of Public Safety, also commonly known as the City University of New York Police, is a New York State law enforcement agency that falls under the City University of New York system. The City University of New York Police is responsible for protecting all campuses, uh, all campuses of the City University of New York system, in which there are currently 23. Um, the City University of New York police officers are fully sworn and trained state peace officers with authority throughout the state of New York to enforce state laws. They primarily operate within the city of New York, however. Um, Despite its name, the City University of New York system is in fact not a municipal. It is in fact not a municipal university system. It is a state university system, and if you didn't know this, that is totally fine. Many people actually do not know this, and it's obvious why. I mean, if you look at its name, it says City University of New York. But anyways, it's a state university because of a couple of reasons. First of all, it is considered one of the many New York state agencies. Secondly, it does fall under the New York Public Higher Education system, which is a large state agency. And thirdly, ways you can tell that it is a state university, other than the factual ways, would be if you look at its logo, like for example, the logo of the City University of New York Police Department. On its logo, there is a seal, the seal of the state of New York, which suggests that it is not a city agency. It suggests that it is a state agency, because while this is not a completely accurate way of telling, many usually state agencies, state law enforcement agencies, will have the seal of their state on them. For example, the New York State Police also has the seal of the state of New York. The same goes for municipal agencies. They also typically have their own city seal, but they do not usually, like agencies like the NYPD. They don't have the seal of the state of New York, and the reason why for that is because they operate for the city of New York, not for the state of New York. So that's why they have the seal of the City University of New York. But I know I was probably really complicated there. Sorry about that. I'm not good at explaining things. Another way of telling is that in its name, it you can see how it says, it doesn't say, its name isn't the City University of New York City. It's the City University of New York, which suggests that it is referring to the entire state of New York. So what it's basically saying, its name is suggesting or referring to, is a university system located within a city in the state of New York. It could be any city in the state of New York. It could be Albany. It doesn't have to be New York City. But currently, the only campuses they have are located in New York City. But aside from that, that is pretty much the overview of their duties, responsibilities. Yeah. The City University of New York Police has citywide jurisdiction throughout the city of New York to protect the individual campuses of the City University of New York system. They are granted these powers by the city of New York. However, added on top of that, like I mentioned earlier, they do have state peace officer powers, which basically means that they are allowed to operate anywhere within the state in order to conduct law enforcement duties. Now, as commonly mistaken, this does not mean they this does not mean they have jurisdiction throughout the state of New York. Nor does it mean they are state law enforcement officers, even though they are absolutely state law enforcement officers. I'm just saying that in general, pretty much any police officer can be a peace officer. For example, the New York City Department of Corrections, that's a municipal agency, and yet their officers are considered state peace officers. That doesn't mean that they are state law enforcement officers. It just means that they can operate anywhere within. They are granted the authority by the state of New York to operate anywhere within the state of New York in order to make an arrest. Now, these powers are really only used when they are in a pursuit or carrying out a search warrant. Pretty much only used when they have jurisdictional exceptions. When it comes to who the City University of New York Police collaborates with the most, it's usually the NYPD. Now, while the NYPD and the City University of New York Police do not directly share mutual aid agreements, the NYPD does often assist them in emergencies, even though they technically are not allowed to. It's a common thing for municipal law enforcement to assist small agencies like the City University of New York Police, and that's simply because when it comes to emergencies, they do not often have the amount of officers to do so. In those cases, the small agencies like the City University of New York Police would typically have a memorandum of understanding towards larger agencies like the NYPD for trying to help in those cases. So while they do not directly share mutual aid agreements, they do typically have a memorandum of understanding when it comes to assisting each other in operations. The only agency that the City University of New York Police shares concurrent jurisdiction with currently is the New York State Police. Now, this is simply because New York State police officers, as you probably already know, have statewide jurisdiction. They have authority over all state property, and since City University of New York campuses are considered state property, they technically have concurrent jurisdiction with the City University of New York Police. Now, the City University of New York Police specifically works with the New York State Police's Troop NYC, which is basically the primary New York State Police troop for the city of New York City. And since all campuses of the City University of New York are located in New York City, they frequently and specifically only work with that troop. The City University of New York Police trains at the City University of New York Department of Public Safety Training Academy, which is located in the city of New York and takes approximately 15 to 20 weeks.